Rodgers also explained that he did not get 2 of the vaccines because he found he was allergic to an ingredient in the mRNA vaccines, and that when the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was pulled back in mid-April, he decided he would not get that vaccine either. Michael Irvin, I'm going to start with you. Did Aaron Rodgers make himself look better or worse by addressing this?
He did not make himself look better. I mean, first of all, when he started out, when they asked Aaron Rodgers, they said, "Are you vaccinated?" His answer was, "Yeah, I'm immunized." That's a yeah in there. And then I'm immunized. So I'd imagine you meant, yeah, you're vaccinated, and that helps your immune system. I don't know why you couldn't just say the truth or just say, I'd rather not share that. Just like he just said, I don't want to share everything about what's going on. Health is not a one-size-fits-all. So just say, I'd rather not share that. And everybody would have respected that. Don't go the distance that he has gone to try to deceive or hide and then come back and say, well, I'm a critical thinker and everybody else is wrong but him. That's just absolutely not right. It's just absolutely not right. And absolutely, he does not come out looking better after that interview.
Let me break this down to y'all right now. We all know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. I'm the brother that coined the phrase, he's a bad man. I mean, this brother's special, okay? I love Aaron Rodgers. I'm ashamed of him right now. If Aaron Rodgers is watching this interview Friday on Pat McAfee Show, whatever day, I think it was Friday that he did that interview, you came across as a national embarrassment. There is no other way around it. It was the most embarrassing performance of Aaron Rodgers' career. Period. There is no denying that. Let's count the ways. First of all, as you said, he could have easily come out and tell the truth. The fact that you went on Pat McAfee's show and articulated what you articulated as extensively as you did, you could have did that back in August when they asked you the question. So that's point number one. Point number two, you said you didn't lie. Okay, Aaron Rodgers, how about deliberately deceitful? Does that work? Does that work? Because you knew that you didn't take the Pfizer, the Moderna, or the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and you knew in the eyes of the NFL, that was the stipulation under which you were declared vaccinated or unvaccinated. So when you told the media yes in answering their question, you said yes first, then you said I'm immunized. You gave the impression that you were vaccinated on purpose. So you were deliberately deceitful. Point number three, why? Because you didn't feel like dealing with the shrapnel of criticism, or dare I say an intensified probe into why you had declared that you had decided to be unvaccinated, so you couldn't take the heat. Well, how does that translate to other things? I mean, you couldn't take the heat about Green Bay. Were you telling the truth about them? Was you telling the truth about Gutekunst? Was he wrong in how he had treated you after all? I mean, you give one position to the media, and then behind closed doors, you take another position. Who are you, Aaron Rodgers? That's the question, because you brought all of that into the equation, okay? That's number three. Number four, witch hunt. What witch hunt? Carson Wentz is not vaccinated. Kirk Cousins is not vaccinated. Is there a witch hunt at those guys? I see them playing every week. If anything, they stand taller today than they ever have in their career because they were willing to do what you, Aaron Rodgers, was not willing to do, which was to man up and state your position. Point number five. I personally am sick and tired of all of these ignorant folks out here acting like it's a private matter. No, your medical history is a private matter. Your medical status is a private matter without the issue of the vaccine. But as it pertains to COVID-19, the coronavirus pandemic, you have the ability, according to the scientists, to contaminate other people. You're more susceptible to the virus if you're not vaccinated. Now, does that mean you should have to take it? That's your decision. And anybody that wants to point to Kyrie Irving or anybody else, that's their decision. Oh, by the way, you disrespected Kyrie Irving. I'm no flat earther. That was a direct shot at Kyrie Irving, who has said nothing about you, has not bothered you. And by the way, deserves more credit than Aaron Rodgers because he's willing to man up and stay in his position and cost himself money. Aaron Rodgers is the one that's coming across as wanting the best of both worlds. You want your money. You want to play. You don't want to be prohibited from playing the game. But you also don't want to be subjected to protocols that the NFL has had to institute. And then also, by the way, can we all grow up and understand this is about big business? Why do you think the president of the United States is pushing? And of course, it's a health crisis. Of course, that matters. But the biggest thing is that, excuse me, if you are not vaccinated and you're more susceptible to catching the coronavirus, then inevitably, you may not be able to work. And the more people that are subjected to that, the more it will compromise the workplace in the United States of America, which ultimately has a ripple effect on the economy, which is why they're doing these things. That's why Disney, Walmart, and every big business you can find is bringing the hammer down on these matters because it has the ability to compromise big business. There are billions upon billions upon billions of dollars that people in America have lost. You cannot ignore all of that and say you want to do what you want to do, but you still want your money so you can pay your bills and sustain or elevate your quality of life. It's like, grow up. I did not want to take the vaccine, Michael Irvin, Molly. I did not want to take it. I have my reservations about it. I hear all of these different things. You get nervous. You think about things from an historical perspective as it affects the African-American community. You damn right there's hesitancy. But in the end, you ultimately got to think about what's best. And last time I checked, Jess was at the doctor the other day. You know, they said, Stephen A., you got this shoulder injury, you got this, you got that. Oh, you got to take this medication. I can't recall one single time, Molly, when the doctors prescribed medicine, and I said, let me Google the ingredients, and let me look every little thing up before I take it. There isn't a person in this country that could sit up there and say, I have looked up the ingredients of every single medication that has ever been given to me before I've ever put something in my body. If you did that, I'm not talking about you. But if you haven't done that, shut the hell up. And stop trying to act like, oh my God, right now. To ask us to take something is just ridiculous. It's
Michael.
not. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.